Very basic Bible with BJ. Gonna do a Bible topic, but you knew that because that's what you clicked on. All right, been in Jeremiah for a little while. Go find another one here. Yeah, go look at some Leviticus. Why not? 19. I'm just gonna pick something randomly. Here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay. Various religious and social regulations. The Lord is holy. Idolatry forbidden. Let's look and see it. Dealing honestly. Oh, there was some up here. See, over here you got no subtitles, but here you do. These three. I don't know. Some translations decide to put subtitles in some places and not others, and so. Start right here at verse 20. Read the net. New English Translation. Here we go. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 20. When a man has sexual intercourse with a woman, although she is a slave woman designated for another man, and she has not yet been ransomed. Wait, when a man has intercourse with a woman, although that woman, wait, any woman? I'm assuming it means, like, look over here, NIV. If a man sleeps with a female slave who is promised to another man, but has not, but who has not been ransomed or given her freedom. Yep. So you're a man, you got a female slave, and you take advantage of her. Hey, it doesn't say if you rape her. It doesn't say that. And in this case, maybe the woman's consenting. But hey, you are the man. She is a slave. You are in charge, right? I mean, people, no, you can't make the man in charge. That's see, that's the culture they lived in. God's trying to regulate it here. Look, God could have said, no, don't do this at all, period. Or he can work with people where they're at. I mean, I'm very glad God works with me where I'm at, or else I'd be toast. Or freedom has not been granted to her. Okay. There will be an obligation to pay compensation. They must not be put to death because she was not. Oh, so don't. Over here. If a man, there must be due punishment, yet they are not put to death because she had not been freed. Maybe because she's a slave, the owner nor the female slave are put to death, I'm assuming. Okay, NLT, New Living Translation. But since she is not a free woman, neither the man nor the woman will be put to death. Okay. Because if she was a free woman, I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what the difference would be. You go, well, it's because she was a slave, and that's just what they did to slaves. I guess. But we're saying if somebody does something bad to their slave, or no, if somebody sleeps with their slave, got to pay compensation. Uh, there should what does it say? There shall be punishment. So I mean, why are you getting punished for doing something to a slave? So it's like, wait, but I thought a slave was property. You could do anything to him. If you do this, you get punished. But then over here, it's like, well, why not the death penalty? Oh, because she's a slave. It's like, well, wait, are we like being harsh on slaves? Oh, so it's not good enough punishment. Well, which is it? Do you get punished for doing something wrong to your slave, or you're not getting punished enough for doing something wrong to your slave? I mean, God's trying to work with people where they are. I don't know. I don't know. When we were kids, my mom would my mom would sometimes treat my older brother different than my younger brother. They're like 7, 6. He's like 2 years younger than me. My older brother's 2 years older than me. It's 35, 5 years. No, wait, 2, 3, 4 years, something like that. No, they were pretty far apart. My older brother, my younger brother. I will say 6 years. I'm not sure how to do the math. Oh, 78 to 85. Oh, that's like 79 to 80, 79 to 85. It's like 6 years. Okay, sorry. This is very basic Bible, not very basic uh arithmetic for siblings. Okay, arithmetic for siblings. No, they would treat my mom would treat the older brother different, not as in, hey, older brother, you've had more experience, you're older, so you're in charge of the household. Younger brother, you need to listen to your older brother. He's had more experience, he's in charge. Not so much like that. More like my older brother grew up in a there was no like cable TV yet. I mean, there was, but it's like three, four channels. There was no Nintendo and Sega. Um, so I went to school and the computers were still really old floppy disks. A different time period, but very quickly, suddenly, my younger brother is born. By the time he's 3 or 4, we got some cable TV and we can like go and watch movies at the movie theaters. We couldn't do that before. Computers changed. There were still floppy disks, probably, but there were hard disks, and some computers save stuff. My older brother's in high school, and all this is changing around him. We had, like I said, Nintendo and Sega. It's like, is it a huge difference? Not the biggest difference ever. You could think of a difference between um people born, say, in 1990, before the internet, and now people born after the internet have never known anything else. They're two completely different situations. You end up having to deal with people where they are at. If my mom had, say, treated my younger brother exactly the same in every respect, they'd have been very confused. You know, God works with people where they are. We work with people where they are. You know. So it's like, wait. Do we do this with a slave, or do we this with a slave? Do we do this? We don't punish the master, but we do punish the master. Wait, which one? What? Hey, this is an ancient culture, different time period. Let's go to verse 21. The man, oh, anything. The he, the man, must bring his guilt offering to the Lord. And if you look over here at the CSB, Christian Standard Bible, bring a ram. The man, however, the New Living Translation, must bring a ram. So I'm assuming the guilt offering is a ram. Why? Because the man's guilty. He must bring his guilt offering to the Lord at the entrance of the meeting tent, or tent of meeting. That's the way we usually hear it, right? You bring it to the tent of meeting. Okay, to the meeting tent. A guilt offering ram. Oh, look. It does say ram. It says ram at the bottom in the more literal translations, because their Hebrew probably had, when you read, ram at the bottom. But over here in the verse for verse, hey, bring a ram as a guilt offering, presented to the Lord at the entrance of the tabernacle. Most people tend to think the tent of meeting and the tabernacle are two different things, but the New Living Translation, I say most people. That's what I've heard most of my life from a lot. When I hear Bible teaching, it's okay. You bring your guilt offering to the proper place, and the priest is to make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering before the Lord for his sin that he has committed, and he will be forgiven of his sin that he has committed. Wait, that's it? Because look down here. When you enter the land and plant any fruit tree, whenever the slave master now enters a new land, right? You must consider the fruit to be forbidden. 3 years. So now the slave master, he's not going to make his slave work for 3 years. Is that? No. We've changed subjects, it seems. And the 4th year, all the fruit will be whole. All its fruit will be holy. Praise offerings to the Lord. Let's keep. Is there a slave and master anymore? Is this about sex anymore? Then in the 5th year, you may eat its fruit to add its produce. Okay, blood, hair, and body. Okay. You must not eat anything with the blood still in it. Is this about slavery anymore? I think you must not practice either divination or soothsaying. So maybe this is the punishment. Is there any punishment? Nobody's allowed to practice divination or soothsaying. Don't round off. So we've gotten into different Just these three verses. Maybe up here. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to read backwards. Verse 19. You must keep my statutes. My is probably God, I'm assuming. You must not allow two different kinds of animals to breed. You must not sow your field with two different kinds of seed. You must not wear a garment made of two different kinds of fabric. When a man has sexual intercourse with a woman, although she is a slave, that's a different context up here. Okay, you must not take vengeance or bear a grudge. Okay, that would be good for a slave, but it doesn't talk about slavery. I mean, you must love your neighbor as yourself. I mean, that's an overall thing. That's good. Slave master, love your slave as yourself. Don't be going and doing stupid stuff to her. You know, um, I am the Lord. Then you must keep my statutes, something about all the two different kinds of this and that. Then slavery. I mean, is that all we have? Okay. We're going to look. Let's see. Slave. Exodus. Okay. They made their life bitter with hard. No, we're going to look later during the law section. The powerful hand brought you from the house of slave. Okay. Okay. The seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work. You or don't do any work, or your son, or your daughter, your male slave, or your female slave, or your cattle, or the residents. No work. Nobody does any work. Okay. So there's a little more on slavery in general. Don't go coveting your neighbor's house, your neighbor's wife, or his male slave, or his female slave. Hey, that is not your slave. They are not working for you. They are working for your neighbor. Okay, look, Exodus. If you buy a Hebrew slave, so there's more about slavery. 21:5, but it's a plain slave. So here's the whole thing about the slavery, right? The man sells his daughter as a female slave. She is not to go free as the male slaves do. There's more stuff about slavery. It's like, wait, let's take one verse about slavery right here. She doesn't get to go free like the men do. What? That's wrong. That's horrible. We haven't read the whole context. You see, there's more about it. Like, we often get freaked out because, oh no, slavery in the Bible. There's more about it. That read everything the Bible has to say about slavery. You'll still be uncomfortable, but not as so bad, I don't think. Someone strikes his male or female slave with a rod and the slave dies, he shall be punished. To my knowledge, he shall be punished. And earlier verses of punishment is capital death. It's capital punishment. I mean, dude, slave dies, you're gonna die. You know. Okay, knocks the tooth out of it. See, there's more about the female slave. But let's go to Leviticus 19:20. Okay, that's what we're reading, right? 19:20. But if a priest buys a slave as property, that person may eat of it. Oh, the nose. Oh, okay. If the priest does a sacrifice, the priest doesn't get to keep all the food. Too bad, slave. You don't get. Nope. Priest got to give it to the slave that he. Yeah. A lot of people are like slaves should be a servant. I guess some people willingly sold themselves into slavery. Um, Often slaves were taken via war too. You know, your male, your foreigner, the strangers, all you have the land of the land as food for yourself. So the slaves get for okay. Um, yeah. So there's a lot more about slavery that it talks about. So just make sure and read not one verse, not even one section, and make sure remember overall principles about this stuff. God deals with us where we're at. You know. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and call this one good. We'll see you in the next very basic Babel.